And we're back on the air here on the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Back here, glad to be joining me. We're into the last, 55 so minutes, about 53 minutes of the Gary Russen program today here on GJRB Online. And that means that it's time to go straight on through, non-stop talk on the Gary Russen program. We're going to open up everything. I'm going to be open. I got the chat room sitting here and stuff, so you can be part of the show and have a chance to be on the program. We can do that right here, right now. Area code 563-613-4260. And if you want to join me in the chat room, all you got to do is get in and hit that balloon on the widget, and you can be in there and join me in the chat room. Say hi there. I'm going to go into that chat room right now. Every once in a while I'll pop out, though, to get the weather on the fives and my sound effect for the weather in the news and stuff. And so sometimes I might not catch your message, but leave it there and I'll get back to you as we continue the Gary Russen program today here on GJRB Online, and we'll continue our scroll through social media, acknowledge you to this half hour. And let's see, we'll even be doing some birthdays as well in this next half hour. Got a friend out in PA who went to school with, celebrated birthday today, so we're going to acknowledge her on the air. Also coming up, we're going to give you our program schedule for the next couple of days, and I'll let you know what's going on as far as our programming update. As I told you before, some program change announcements here, and I'll be talking about that a little later on. I'm going to be changing our programming a little bit this week, in that Gary J's the programs that are getting changed and what programs are going off like way out there canceled for this weekend. So is the Swing Time Favorites that will be coming up in broadcast in July, and I'm also adding Gary J in the afternoon, which will be on in July, and the next year Gary Russen program. So we're changing things around. Some of the programs, and I'm going to be posting those on tomorrow's program, on tomorrow's podcast. I'll be recording tomorrow a GJRB schedule update podcast, and that'll be giving you all the program schedule and what's being updated and what's being changed, and we'll talk about that a little later on here. So you stay tuned for that, for program changes. And we're going to do that here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. All right, though, we're going to do that and a whole lot more. So stay with me, the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. And we'll give you that. We'll give you all the program schedule announcements all coming up. So you want to stay here for all that stuff. And we'll conclude the Gary Russen program as well in that particular program. So stay with me. We've got a lot of stuff going on, so I hope you'll stay with me for the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, across America and around the world. We'll be doing our final part, wrapping up this program this half hour, and everything is wide open for stuff today. Wide open. That means open everything on this program today. So be aware of that. You want to stay aboard. And so what we're going to do right now is do the thing I call, well, you know what I'm talking about, the scroll through social media. Well, let's do that now. Yeah. Okay, we do it again. Roll that up. Okay, here it is. Yep. And we're going to do that right now, see what's all out there and see who is out there doing that show today. And I always do that. I always forget to turn off the auto DJ when I do that, so we're going to do it again. Because we want to do things right first. Like to do things right for a change, you know what I mean? I just Okay, alrighty. Here's what we're going to do right now. Let's go through that scroll and recognize some people. And while we're doing that, let's see here. Like I said, we were talking about this earlier. My friend Raymond Leach posted an interesting one. As Democrats demand our Constitution replaces due process for secret lists that are beyond judicial oversight. Basically, he's saying that, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment. Yeah, I know all this now. House just threw temper tantrum over gun control. That's what it's about. Yes, the House. This is what they do. This is what your liberals are doing. Okay, they're crying foul. Yes, they're crying foul. Wah. Yeah, they're crying foul over this whole bit with the yeah. How about that? Oh, they're so mad they just can't handle it. You know, they're just whiny crybabies. This is just terrible. Here's the story. This is it. Check this out. This is what they're doing. Okay. Yeah. This goes under the awe circus, and yeah, they're crying foul here, folks. Yeah, they're whining about the gun control. Yeah, isn't this just sad? They're just, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, isn't this just too much? You know, isn't this just too much? Well, here we go. Yeah. They're just crying foul over this. This includes a 5.5-minute video, but I'm not going to play that because it's just too long for this segment. But I'll try to get glimpses of it. I'll try to get some clips. They are doing this. They decided the best way is to get what they want is to throw a collective temper tantrum. Yes, the House of Representatives. What do they want? Gun control. And when do they want it? Now. Like a bunch of babies, isn't it? Just like, a child who can't get that toy he wants, it's, yeah. Kind of like that. Yeah. Civil rights activist Representative John Lewis of Georgia led a group of Democrats. It's going to be Democrats. In setting out the chamber floor, I said, quote, "We have deaf ears to the blood of the innocent and the concerns of our nation." Lewis said this, quote, unquote, while surrounding up by his fellow Democrats. And how many more mothers, how many more fathers need to shed tears of grief before they do something? Said nods and murmurs of people around him. And again, this all goes to that whole thing again, Quoting here again, Lewis, "There comes a time when you have to make a little noise." Banging his fist on the podium. Now there is time to get in the way, and we still have to be silent and be more. The time for silence is over. Maybe Lewis needs to maybe Lewis needs to be told, though, in his breath until his face turns blue, that here it is, making a demand. Again, this is Congress throwing that down your throat, citizens who are stable, who have no mental issues, should be able to have a gun, should be able to own a gun, should be able to possess a gun. Okay? Citizens who are stable, folks. Alright? And the ones that are not, I don't want one, to be honest with you. I have no desire for having a gun. I don't want one. Okay? I have no desire. I know nothing about them. I'm going to be stupid here. I'm just going to sit here and be stupid. I'm going to dummy up. I know nothing about guns, folks. Nothing whatsoever. Okay? Nothing. Don't know anything about what a 14 caliber, I don't know what a 22 is, let alone an AK-40, whatever that is. I know it's a submachine gun or some kind of powerful weapon. I don't really care. But the people who love guns and are law-abiding citizens, who I kind of put in as protecting us with their guns, okay? Protecting us with their guns. Because, see, like I said before, there wouldn't be a shootout at the old K Corral, meaning the Orlando nightclub, the Orlando gay nightclub. There wouldn't be a shootout at the old K Corral if some of those guys would have the right to carry a concealed weapon. Conceal carry. I'm done with it. Okay, I probably won't even talk about it for a while. But I'm in for these people. People have a right to have a concealed carry, meaning they should have a right to carry a weapon. Because I tell you right now, there wouldn't be a shootout at the OK Corral over there in Orlando if people were allowed to carry concealed carry. Because I proved there's a video. I might even try to find it and show it to you on my YouTube show coming up in July, about mid-July. There's a story about a concealed carry story. In which a place was turned over. Grandpa, an older guy, had a gun. He had a concealed carry weapon. And a state that allows it. Can't remember what state that is. And these guys proceeded to turn over, I don't know what kind of a store. I think it was a convenience store. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was a convenience store. The guys got in and they tried to hold everybody at gunpoint and threaten and all that. Well, this old grandpa come along with his gun, and those guys bolted for the door. Okay? This old grandpa had a gun, and they bolted to the door. It was fabby. It was great to see this. This is a citizen that had a gun. A citizen that owned a weapon. A citizen that took action. Yeah, maybe it is taking the law in your own hands, but they're saying again that the length it takes for a 911 call and the length it takes for patrol officers to get there, and how many lives would be saved if someone with a concealed carry were to prevent this from happening. Hey, this also falls under the what do they call that? Darn. I never remember. But this kind of falls underneath the vigilantes. People might take their law in their own hands, but they can be certified by the police department to carry a gun, but to be patrolling for the police department. Now, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I think if they were to deputize citizens, let's do that. If you have a problem with concealed carry, how about deputizing some people? Let them have a gun. There's a concept. Yeah. There's a concept. Sounds like a good idea to me. Matter of opinion. That and what you think about what I said earlier. I forgot the question. But let's change that for a minute and say concealed carry. What do you think about then if they have an issue with concealed carry? let's see. Why don't we equip our American citizens and let us be deputized? You know, especially the guys who just gone through law enforcement, went to college for it. How about that? Yeah, how about that? And this way, they go to college for it. They go to college for law enforcement to be a police officer, and there's training for you if they let them. Let them be deputies. We need, this is why, look at all the cops. And maybe there's not enough cops out there. I mean, look how many cops are now. A lot of guys, I think, who wanted to be police officers are really rethinking their decision to be police officers because of what's going on with all these protesters, with these anti-cop protesters. So you see, I know, I kind of have to sit there and think about that a minute. Why not deputize people, and the ones who want to be cops, just see what it's like out in the field there. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think about that? Give me a call on the area code 563-613-4260 if you want to get on the air on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. I was going to do something earlier. This little cell phone, I have interesting music on this thing when a phone call comes in. And I like it, but I'm going to be putting my theme. I'm going to record my theme on the recorder on this one, and then I'm going to be using it for, like, the theme for the Gary Russen program, I'll put Talk. The theme for the Way Out There, I'll put Spaceship. The theme for so I'm going to have all three on here. And then I'll just pick which one I want to use for whatever show I'm going to do. So every time it rings on the air for I take phone calls, it'll be the show's theme, and you'll know we're going to a phone call. Pretty good, pretty cool idea, I say. Alrighty, right now though, you're listening to the Gary Russen program, and it's now time to do weather on the fives. I've been doing that. It's clouding up. I'm looking at it outside right now. It's clouding up, and looks like it's going to rain again. I was looking at I want to check the radar here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go into weather on air. Since I'm not going to do a local news break, I'm going to kind of flip over to the weather people on the Weather Nation. I'm going to look at our radar this hour. I'm going to look at the temperatures this hour and some of the other stuff going on. Right now, we're up to 84 degrees right here in Clinton, and we're under overcast skies. And I was looking at some of that last week. Like I said, everywhere in the area, pretty much all the places I've been covering on Weather on the Fives today have been under a flash flood watch. And it's pretty much here clear through to Illinois. And they're expecting some more storms coming your way. And I did some temperatures and stuff earlier. I'm going to do a little different thing with this weather on the fives. I'm going to have all my temperatures. Now, my prep today wasn't all that great. I couldn't finish my prep in time, and so I'm doing this show freestyle now. But next week when I do this program, I'm going to be doing it a little differently. So I'm going to be setting up programming. I'm going to be doing it differently the way I had it before, because I want to set it up so that it's a better lineup next week. So next week on the Gary Russen program, better equipped for a better show next week. So we're going to be back on the air at 2 o'clock Central for another edition of the Gary Russen program right here on GJRB Online, and we'll have another edition of this program, and I'm going to have everything a little bit better set up, including giving a whole line of temperatures and setting up those, and be able to have those all on there and set up and ready to go. So I'm going to be working on that one. Weather Nation is a lot easier than that other one, and getting temperatures and stuff too. So I'm going to be going to that and moving things around a little bit. So, all right, getting pretty darn close to the top of the hour here on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB. Like I said before, we're kind of decided to do it a little differently today, and now I'm going to just skip all news. That was the last newscast for news, because when we do news and comment on throughout the show on a Wednesday and a Friday, there is no news at 5 o'clock. We just go nonstop talk, and that's what we're doing right here on GJRB Online. Spread this about and see who's out there on the Gary Russen program right here on GJRB Online. And we're going to do that next hour. Also, we're going to do birthdays. So we're going to do a quick one for a good friend of mine who is from Pennsylvania. Her name is Mary Ann Ross. There, so I want to say happy birthday to her. And get some celebrities celebrating birthdays with her right now. Man, Cyndi Lauper, 63. Wow. Whoa. The pink-haired wild girl who had all those hit records like Girls Wants to Have Fun and all that. 63 today. Yeah. Cyndi Lauper, 63. Hard to believe. Whoa. Wow. Okay, let's see what other birthdays here coming up. Let's take a look down the line a bit here and see. Kurt Warner's 45, football player. Okay. Carson Daly, 43. Yeah. How about that? Carson Daly's 43. And, my alarm didn't go off. But anyway, it's 5 o'clock Central Time right now, 6 o'clock in the East, 3 o'clock Pacific. And this is GJRB Online on Spreaker. And I'm Gary J. Russen as we get into the last half hour of the Gary Russen program today. Chris Christopherson celebrating his 80th birthday, country star. Let's see. Dan Brown, 52, novelist. And finally, let's see. I'm just doing the well-known ones. The ones to me, the baby boomers. And we're, for most of that probably listen to this program are probably baby boomers. I don't think the young ones want to hear me rattle for like 3 hours. So I'm going to say mostly the baby boomer appealing audience listens to this program. And so I just kind of get some of the celebrities who are well known to us in our generation and how it's celebrated. But we'll do some of you. Dinah Jane Hanson's 19. Zach Clayton, 16. Okay, he's a You Now star, whatever that is. And we want to say happy birthday to Meryl Streep. She's 67 today, and that's Celeb Birthdays and Birthdays on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB. I just like to do them celeb birthdays once in a while here on our program. Okay, down the line a bit, we're going to go through a few things here, and then we're going to go into our next site and do a little bit there into our next site. And let's see who many of you out there might remember this tune. Yeah. Remember the Red Rubber Ball? Circle. Remember 66 for this hit record. Yeah. I should have known you bid me farewell. There's a lesson to be learned from this. Yeah, that's a classic. Now I know you're not the only starfish in the sea. If I never hear your name again. Classic that is too. That's from 1966, Circle on the Gary Russen program. A little bit of that. Okay, going to go down the line a bit and see what else we have here as we go to the top of the page again. Chuck Grassley posted this. This is an interesting one. You can post this, learn more. It's a plot of a bad movie. It's like a plot of a bad movie or a story of a real petty judge. Skyrocketing of Iowa. Thousands of jobs were lost. 55,000 people. And let me see if I can get this back here. This is one. 55,000 people or more out of work under Governor Chet Culver. He's posted this video, and this is just debt skyrocketed in Iowa. Thousands of jobs were lost. Flood victims waited for relief. Iowa budgets were decimated. Imagine it. And despite laying off thousands of state workers, she refused to cut her pay even a token amount. Remember what she did in Iowa. Imagine what she'll do in Washington. This is not a bad movie. This is the choice we have in November. Imagine that. Grassley works. Imagine that. Anyway, that's one of the political ads. Yeah. Oh, well, like I said before, it's, I don't know, I wonder what state's more crooked, Illinois or Iowa. Yeah. Anyway, let's go down the line a bit here, and then we're going to go into Twitter here in just a little bit. We got a lot of classic oldies on here today. Some good ones, too. Let's see here. Go down the way here a little bit more. Another spectacular sunrise. Who's that? Bill Medea. This is Illinois, Chicago area. Fabulous pictures of a rainbow there. Wow, I like that. Okay, let's see. Put it there. Okay, I'm gonna go down a little bit down the page. Usually I like to capture a lot of the news sites more than I do my friends' sites. So I do get some of the ones they post are pretty interesting, but I kind of go through and pick some of the real interesting ones. But what we're going to do right now is continue the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. If you'd like to be part of the show, love to hear from you. We're getting into our final part, and like I said, non-stop talk here, folks. So if you want to be part of the program and join the show, hey, I'm going to be heading into Twitter in our next segment, our final part of the Gary Russen program today. Headed into Twitter. So that's coming up in our last half hour, and we'll do sports page. And congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Anybody listening in the Cleveland area on Spreaker today? Congratulations to your Cavaliers for winning the NBA championship this year. Wow. Cavs winning. Imagine that. Oh, congratulations to the Cavs for their winning. Cleveland Cavaliers win the NBA. And we'll be talking about that here in a few minutes. Oh, let's see. I'm going to go... Why don't I do this? Why don't I just do sports page real quick? I'm going to pull that up. We'll do sports page in the next break. Coming up in the next segment. And we'll wrap up the Gary Russen program with our schedule. So stay tuned. We're going to do that next here on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. I'm Gary J. Russen. Thanks for tuning into the program. And I hope you're enjoying the show. And we'll be right back with more of the Gary Russen program in just moments. Stay with me. Be right back.